On today's show, we are joined by the best-selling author, Jon Warner. Jon Warner is the author of 40 books and the sought-after international speaker on the subjects of management, leadership, entrepreneurship, and innovation. And on today's show, he stops by to teach you how to reduce the risks associated with launching a new product or a new service. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, here's our interview with Jon Warner.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrive Time Show.
3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom.
Yes, and yes. On today's show, Thrive Nation, we're talking about how to develop personal momentum. Jon Warner, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you?
I am very well, and it's great to be here.
Now, I want to ask you, where are you? You sound like you're from Oklahoma. You sound like you're from Texas. Where are you from?
Very close. So I'm physically in Palm Springs, California, and I have a very strange blend of accents that started off being born in the UK, via Australia for 15 years, and I've been in California for 15 years. So I'm collecting passports.
So you have written, my understanding is throughout your career, you have put together 40 books. 40 books. My friend, when have you found time to write 40 books and to lead 3 successful startups?
Well, I love to write, so it was just a discipline I learned really early on in life, and it's been 30 years in the making, but, every so often I put a book out where I've done enough research to think it's justified, so I can hardly believe it myself.
So what was your life like growing up, and when did you first figure out what you wanted to do professionally?
So, I worked in the corporate world and thought I wanted that career really early on in the UK. And I worked for big corporations. I worked for Air Products and Chemicals. I worked for Exxon for a little while. But I pretty quickly found out I really didn't want to be in the big corporation. And I preferred being in the more agile, smaller organization world and in entrepreneurship. So I started consulting to organizations that were trying to go and get traction and scale, and then eventually jumped into entrepreneurship directly myself. And that's been my life ever since, certainly for the last 25 years.
So what was your first viable business, and how did you go about funding that thing?
Yeah, I built a publishing company. A friend of mine who'd been at Exxon had jumped out into a publishing company that was ailing and said to me, come and help me take this to a better place. They wanted to internationalize it. I brought some capital to the table. He already had put some capital into it, and we did. We took that little publishing business in Australia, as it was at the time, and we took it up by about 200% in the space of about 3 years. So we did pretty well before we sold it.
Well, now you could be talking about anything on today's show, but specifically you're working on a new project. Can you share with our listeners about your newest book and what inspired you to write this book?
Yeah, my new book is called SLAM, which is an acronym for the Startup Launch Assistance MAP. And it's really an exploration work to allow the startup idea to really follow a process. An exploration process.
So tell us about this process for gaining momentum. I think a lot of our listeners are business people, and I know the feeling, and my partner, Dr. Z, is joining us here. Dr. Z, meet Jon C. Warner.
Hello, mate.
Hi.
Hello,
Hi.
mate.
Good to be on the show, mate, as well, exactly.
Now, Z, you and I have started companies that have gone on to be very successful, but we had to start with from the bottom. We had to start at the very beginning, when it's just you and an idea. You wanted to start an optometry clinic, Z. It's you, it's Z, Dr. Zellner and Associates, but there was just you at one point. You just started with one, started by yourself. We can relate to this idea of trying to start something from nothing, being a catalyst. For the listeners out there, Jon, what advice would you have for the listeners out there who are trying to start a company and trying to gain momentum, and it's just them and maybe one other guy? How do we create that momentum?
So here's the big idea, I think. I think today it's not about the quality of the idea. I think you can either have an idea of your own or you can get it in the public domain. It's really about determining whether people want that idea. So for me, it's all about customer discovery. It's about finding an unmet need that's out there and then proving, corroborating that it's real, and then de-risking your startup well before you start spending any serious money. I see far too many startups doing it the other way around. You know, we've got to build a product, we've got to build a website, we've got to build something as an MVP, and that just doesn't work. So I think the more you can get out there and really corroborate what you're doing, it's step one of that SLAM map. Really dive into a tribe of customers who are going to buy from you, and if you can find them, I think you're halfway home.
So talk to me about de-risking. What does that mean on a practical level? If I'm listening, I'm a dentist, I'm a doctor, I'm a fitness guy. What does it mean to de-risk?
What it means is that you're validating that your thinking is consistent with other people's. If you're alone in the world in thinking that there's a new way to go and drill teeth or fix up a patient or sell flowers or whatever it is you're into, make people fitter, you've really got to get out there and make sure that some people share your vision, share your view, and will buy from you ultimately. So digging into that unmet need is about going out and finding customers who are going to be willing to buy you without actually leading the witness. You don't want to go and say, would you buy from me? You want to go and kind of inhabit their world, find out what their pain points are, and then make sure that you've really understood those before you start designing your product. And that's the de-risking process. De-risking means spending as little money other than.
So I want to ask Z. Let's see if I understand this method. So Z, we go into your optometry clinic.
Okay.
And
we say, well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for coming in, Dr. Roberts.
Mate, thank you for coming in, mate.
So if we go into your optometry clinic and we're trying to unleash what advice would you have for a guy like Dr. Zellner if he's trying to unleash a new product or a new service? How does he go about de-risking that?
Unleash.
Yeah, I think you've got to do in an established business case is look at your existing customer base and see what needs they've still got that are not being met. So, whatever it might be, you've got to go and listen really hard to understand that there is a new niche out there that's got a need. And then once you're beyond your own sort of customer base, you can go out into the community and say, what else are they having pain around, or where is there a possible gain that they could get that they're not realizing today? So it's really all about getting into their space, understanding what they're doing and where their limitations are, so that you can develop that new product, service, whatever it may be, so it sails into that empty space.
There's a beautiful example of that with Walmart, the world's largest retail company. They did a big survey and asked everybody, where did you go after you left Walmart? And everybody said, well, we went to the grocery store because we come to Walmart to get our dry goods and all that, the sundries, and then we go to the grocery store to get our food, and then we go home because obviously when you have food, you got to get home and get in the refrigerator. And so they said, well, why are we not selling food? And I think that's a great question to ask, just like you're saying, John, and that is to, get the database of the people that are there and then find out what else they need that you potentially can provide for them, right?
Absolutely. And these mini pivots are everywhere. I mean, probably the master on the planet right now is Amazon. Just look at all the businesses they're in. That comes from listening to their customers and then really understanding not just it's a retail level, which is what they're known for, but they've bought other businesses as well. As platforms that give people information and education in very joined up ways. In fact, AWS, their web services business, which is really nothing to do with directly selling at a retail level, is a $6 billion business today. That started by listening to customers and saying, we can sell into a space we'd not been in before, and we can actually beat out Apple and Microsoft and Google. And they did.
So you were mentioning Walmart deciding to bring food into the stores?
Yes.
And we actually, for the listeners out there that missed the show, if you listen to our interview, it says Interviewing the Right-Hand Man for Sam Walton is the title. You can Google it, Interviewing the Right-Hand Man for Sam Walton. We actually interviewed Tommy Smith, who was the man tasked by Sam Walton to actually open up the supercenters.
I know, it was fantastic, and his insight and how they came up with it is exactly what John's talking about. To bring it back to my level, one of the things that I research is that when people get contact lenses, within the first week to 2 weeks at the maximum, they go and buy sunglasses. A lot of people get contact lenses so they can wear Ray-Bans, Oakleys. They can wear regular sunglasses, if you will.
This just in.
This just in. And so I said, listen, guys, we need to be more concentrated on people buying contact lenses or getting contact lenses from us. They're going to go buy sunglasses. So let's offer a promo, a
Come on now.
call to action.
Oh, yeah.
Let's, not let them leave the store until they buy some sunglasses, which can get kind of, cantankerous. No, ma'am, you can't leave. You didn't buy any sunglasses yet. But but that's one of the things you're talking about, that vertical integration of what else are they going to go? What else are they going to go buy that you can provide?
Now, John, we have a listener who joins us today inside the studio by the name of Charles Kola. Charles Kola and his wife Amber started kolafitness.com. It is if you imagine big gyms, big fitness centers, thousands and thousands of members. Charles Kola, what questions would you have for Jon Warner here about how to maybe de-risk your new location, your new venture, your new product, or how to develop momentum with an organization? Whoa, am I muting you? I'm
muting everybody.
I'm muting everybody.
I'm here now.
Wow.
John, the show before you, we had the Lieutenant Governor on the show. We had the Secretary of Commerce. We had all these different people in the studio. So I've got mute buttons everywhere. So back to you, Charles.
Yes. Hey, John. Yes, I was going to follow up again with Dr. Z. What other things do you see that he had mentioned about, Walmart, when you leave, they said they were going to the grocery store. What other items did you have like in your book or that you've talked about in your book that would be like testing that ideal and likely buyer, understanding your ideal and likely buyer? Any action items that you can think of other than kind of what Dr. Z kind of pulled up?
Yeah, I
that come to mind?
think so. I mean, obviously it's going to be unique to your own business, but let's go and talk about those too. So one of the ways to think about your customers and the tribes of people that you can focus on is to do it demographically and psychographically. So demographically, let's say in the optometry environment, even in the fitness environment, there are people who are very young. Maybe it's kids fitness, maybe it's eyewear for kids. Or very old. What about the older adult community and their needs as they get frailer and things change? Same in fitness. Psychographically, it's all about what are their preferences. So you can start playing with all sorts of things because people like to go and get variety. They like to go and get customized solutions. The key is to go and listen to them hard enough to know that's a big enough market for you to go and get after. You can find a niche that no one else is occupying. So for example, are focused wholly on kids. I don't know too many optometrists that are focused wholly on providing, colorful and interesting eyewear, whether, whatever that may be, whether it's sunglasses or normal wear. So I think if you really dig in, this is where you get the de-risking advantage from.
Great.
So how can your book and the concepts in your book help individuals that are constantly having new ideas? People always have ideas for a new business, a new product, a new service, and how can your idea help people like that?
So the easy way to do it, and even I hate to say this, but without even buying the book, you can go to the website slamprocess.com and just download the free resource right there for your listeners. It's got the questions you would follow and actually run your idea through those questions. There's 8 steps on the SLAM map. There's 3 questions under every step. So there's 24 questions that de-risk your startup to validate what it is you're doing. Ask those questions. And don't do it with your mom and your dad and your brother and Uncle Phil and Auntie Mary. Get out there and go and try and talk to people that you think are going to be the target customer. And if you just go out and try and talk to 10 or 12 people, go and see if it's got validity. That's where I would start.
Luke, you've seen this with the Hub Gym, your gym in Broken Arrow, where a lot of people say they want to eat healthy food. You've seen this, right?
Right.
They say they want to eat healthy food.
Yep.
But do they want to buy healthy food?
No. No, they don't.
Why?
Because it's not easy and it doesn't feel good. What I'm finding is a lot of people eat based on how they feel. And with our food service, the one we offer currently, it's all about consistency and the same thing over and over again. And people just don't want to do that.
So, Charles Cole, talk to us about this. What do you eat every day, my friend?
Meat, vegetables.
Yeah.
Meat,
And
vegetables.
real quick, no, John, I want you to, Charles, can you explain to John how tall you are?
I'm about 6'3", 6'4",
How much do you weigh?
about 255,
What's your body fat percentage?
about 6 or 7.
And what do you eat?
Mainly lean meat, vegetables, protein shakes, and water.
Do you ever get bored?
No, I just basically do that over and over. In fitness, that's kind of like the mainstay of food that you eat to stay lean and muscular.
Okay, so Jon Warner, your system works, your SLAM method works, and I think a lot of listeners out there are going, well, I know his system works, but what if I just try to go without using the system? Because it's so boring, Z, getting predictable results.
so
What if I want to
boring.
not use? What will happen, John, by default if people don't use your system or a system like yours?
You know, you're prone to just making mistakes. It's as simple as that. You know, all my system does is a guidance framework. It's as simple as that. Define market that have got policy to go and make money. It's as simple as that. My favorite gym story actually is a gym in New York that actually surveyed all their couch potato gym members, people that were turning up in theory to exercise, but what they really wanted to do was get away from the spouse. And say they'd been to the gym. With giant easy chairs that they installed in the gym so they could sit there and eat donuts all day and go home.
Now, John, you're from Australia? You call Australia home?
I do call Australia home. The song says it all.
Well, very good. And generations of your family been there?
Not generations. No, I moved out of the UK to Australia 30 years ago.
Oh, I thought you had a better story because I was hoping you would have my great-great-great-grandfather was shipped here because he was
a kangaroo,
abandoned.
maybe? No, sadly not.
Oh, that's well. You did my story. Don't let truth stop a really good story, John. Okay. I mean, I think maybe your fifth generation grandfather was like a bandito and got shipped off to Australia. And then took over like the western part of the country. And
John,
is that a better story, Clay?
I think it's a better story. I'll tell you this, John. Before we wrap up today's show, I have two hard-hitting questions for you, and then Z, you might have one to beat me.
No, I wouldn't.
John, one is how many kangaroos do you own, and why are you so obsessed with cooking shrimp on the Barbie?
Well, I've got 7 right here, right now, that's in my backyard, around, and they're eating all the shrimp on the Barbie, so I have to keep throwing them on there to feed them.
John, have you ever eaten kangaroo? Because there's red and gray, or is that?
I have. It's lean meat. So talk about meat eating. It's
there you go.
Planet. It's really tasty if you roast it.
It's delicious. I think I had red when I was down in Sydney. I think I was red.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You got to prepare it right, but it's pretty damn good.
How tall is a kangaroo?
You know, they can grow pretty tall, 7.5 feet at the tallest, so they're pretty big.
Just a terrifying animal.
One of the species, or two species, one's bigger than the other. I think so. Is the red or the red or the gray?
Okay, now here's my next question, and this is probably the more serious of the final two here.
Yes.
Because I know all the listeners are going to go to slamprocess.com. They're going to go to slamprocess.com and learn all these systems. But let's have a little fun first here. So,
sure,
John, could you imitate an Oklahoman?
I certainly couldn't. I can't do an American at all.
Because I feel like if I try enough, I might be able to kind of get into a trip on the old Barbie. I feel like I can kind of get to the place if I walk on. But it kind of goes. It trends like English.
Yeah.
But you're not going to bust out an Oklahoman accent just to see.
Say y'all.
You know,
Give us a
it
y'all.
would just insult everyone who's an Oklahoman.
No, we insult ourselves by speaking this way.
It's fun.
Well, I'll tell you what. On today's show, we got Jon Warner.
Put your teeth back in, Clay, before talking.
Where are my pants, Z? Z, where are my pants? Okay, Z, what is your final question for Jon Warner, since he will not cooperate with my asking of him to imitate Oklahomans out of respect for us?
First of all, John, the website that you want everybody to go to is
slamprocess.com, SLAM process.com. It's dedicated to the book. There's a ton of free resources. There's videos on there. So, go for it.
Is there a picture of you on there?
There is a picture, a very small one.
Because he's a handsome man. So everybody, do yourself a favor. A little eye candy, a little sidebar. You're welcome before you go to the website, okay? Now, the hard-hitting question is, and this is one of my favorite questions, because obviously you've been a successful author. You've obviously moved halfway around the world. We won't get into why. I'm sure it had nothing to do with running from the law or legal things. I'm sure it had nothing to do with it.
He lectures on entrepreneurship at both the undergraduate and MBA level.
He's obviously a very smart, successful man. Handsome, got the world, he owns 7 kangaroos. I mean, come on. I mean, he's got it going on.
Just majestic.
So if you could go back, let's say 20 years or somewhere in that, couple of decades, and sit down with yourself as a younger man, what advice would you give to yourself? What would you say? Listen, self.
I think in the end that comes down to get out there, take a risk, go and talk to people, put one foot in front of the other. Don't overthink your idea. Don't put it off till tomorrow. Action and getting out there makes all the difference in the world. And your first idea may not be your best, so just be prepared to be agile and shift your view. Don't be too beholden to, other people either in terms of them telling you whether you can or can't succeed. It's better to be out there than it is, sucking the pencil and just thinking about doing something.
Yeah.
Jon, I appreciate your time more than you know, and I apologize for really just buying into the stereotypes. My understanding is that people in Australia actually don't cook shrimp on the Barbie. Is that correct, sir?
That is correct. That's an English stereotype. Yeah. So, what can I say?
Well, I will say this. If this is offensive, I apologize, but I have to say the truth.
You have to.
I had a roommate in college. My name is Clayton Clark. Up until I went to college, my name was always Clayton. I never went by Clay, but it's just people started calling me Clay because I was a DJ and it kind of went. So I'm like, okay, fine. But I was always called Clayton. That was my name growing up. And so my name's Clayton Clark, and my roommate, his name was Clinton Clark.
Oh, wow.
So I got assigned Clinton Clark as the roommate of Clayton Clark. And Clinton was from Australia. And one day I saw him eating this godforsaken thing that looked a lot like peanut butter called Vegemite.
What?
So I thought, I'm going to go ahead and it looked like peanut butter, so I'm going to go ahead and have some. So I get out the knife. I said, Clinton, can I have some? He says, yeah. And he kind of giggles.
Yeah, mate.
And I'm like, what's so funny? He goes, oh, it's a little different than peanut butter. It looks kind of the same consistency. And I put that on my bread, and it was, in my opinion, the worst thing I've ever had in my entire life. But I understand that it is a staple of the Australian diet. Can you please explain what is going on with Vegemite?
So Vegemite is the complete staple. Every Australian eats it every night on a couple of slices of Wonder Bread.
Every night.
And we wonder why? Is that what we're saying?
What does it taste like? Explain to listeners. This thing, it was like, I did not expect that flavor at all. It was crazy.
It's gross. It is totally gross. I have no idea what the hell they're doing.
It is bad. Hey, Andrew, let's put that on the notes here. Let's go ahead today. Let's buy some Vegemite and ship it into the office tomorrow and try it. It is Amazon overnight.
There is no unmet need for Vegemite in the world.
I can hardly wait.
It's an acquired taste that you never acquire. But I guess if you're from Australia, you're required to enjoy it.
If you don't know any better, you grow up with it. You don't know any better. It's like, it must be wonderful.
Okay.
I don't know any better, right?
Well, Jon Warner, thank you so much, my friend. And if you're out there listening today, go check out his website, slamprocess.com. There's a lot of free information to download. That's slamprocess.com. Jon, I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Great stuff. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, buddy. Take care.
And now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom! Stop what you're doing and think about this for a second. What would happen if your company was suddenly able to generate exponentially more quality sales leads? That would be incredible. What would happen if your company came up at the top or near the top of the Google search engine results? Well, I would just feel overwhelmed with all that business. How many thousands of dollars in lost sales or millions of dollars in lost sales are you missing out on simply because your potential customers can't find you when they go online to search for the products and services that you offer? I refuse to think that thought because I don't want any more business. Unless you are a dirty communist that hates money, my new book, Search Engine Domination, will help you grow your business. In my new book, Search Engine Domination, we will teach you the specific steps that you need to take to dominate the search engine results. What do you mean by dominate? You see, in my new book, Search Engine Domination, we will teach you the specific steps that you need to take to dominate search engine results. Download your free ebook copy today at thebestseobook.com. I repeat, that's thebestseobook.com.
My name is Amy Baltimore, and I am a CPA in Covington, Tennessee. I've been working with the Thrive team now for about a year. One of the first things that they did was to update my website and my search engine optimization. I prior had a website, but I was not being found on Google, and all of my new business was coming through referrals from friends, family, etc. And right away, I started to see results. People were calling and coming in saying that they found me on Google. They just Googled CPA near me, and there I was at the top of the page. And so it's been a great help to my business.
Again, you can download your free ebook copy today at thebestseobook.com.
Hey, this is Dustin Huff. I'm with Keystone Harbor Marina. We joined Thrive back in January and have been working with these guys for about 7 months. During that time period, we have moved up our Google rank through reviews and SEO processes that we've compiled through these guys. Our leads have gone from about 4 a week to now 165 a week. So the process works. I will tell you from experience, once you begin, you have to stay with it. As long as you continually do this week in and week out, month in and month out, you'll continually grow.
The system works, but nothing works unless you do. You've got to take some action. Download the ebook for free today at thebestseobook.com.
Hello, my name is Daniel with Daniel's Heating and Air here in Amarillo, Texas. The way Google has affected my business, we have got a lot of calls from Google. Right now it's July and we've had the best month ever. And it took us about 8 to 10 months to get on top of Google, and I'm glad we did.
Remember, nothing works unless you do. You have to go to thebestseobook.com today. Download the ebook for free. Just download that ebook for free, and you'll be off to the races.
Hi, my name is Christina Nemus. I'm the owner and operator of Angel's Touch Auto Body and Detailing in Bourne, Massachusetts. We have been working with Thrive and their coaching for, say, 8 to 9 months, and it took us about 6 months, 5 to 6 months to get on the top of Google, and with their help with the website and marketing, and the SEO and retargeting ads with Google, and it has been phenomenal. We just have light and day business coming in, phone calls coming in, walk-ins, referrals. It's just through the roof, and we couldn't be happier. At the moment, we are up 50% this year from the previous year, and not only is that part of our own hard work and diligence, but also with the help of Thrive and what they've done for us and getting us on the top of Google and, you know, all their knowledge and coaching. And yeah, so super grateful, super pumped to see what the future holds for all of us. Thank you.
This is your year to thrive. Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time.
Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Proverbs 10:4. I'm here to tell you, you can do it if you can just motivate yourself. 12 the masses had to cut off a few, so on the daily you and I could rendezvous. A misshapen tree that I had to prune. I had to make cuts to be here daily at noon. So like a tidal wave of knowledge monsoon, I could rain on the parades of those of doubt in you. Are you the next Rockefeller or the next guru, or the next Dr. King who's changing the rules? Walls are in your way, will you run right through? Like a running back, forth the one, it's up to you. I remember my days back in the dorm room, tuned to the gloom like the temple of doom, overwhelmed with the doubts that try to consume my hope for the future that I could pursue. But from the mountaintop now I can conclude that you have what it takes if you want the view to
This is your year to thrive. Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time. It's your year to thrive. Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time.
This moment is profound cause you're above the ground. Your road might have been rough, but what you got now is now. We're here to pick you up and to even show you how, but you gotta be resourceful with that old plow. Started from the bottom, but I worked my way up, cause by 4 a.m. I've always been prayed up. Rise and grind as your time, don't dare let up. You gotta get it, don't quit it till your seeds grow up.
This is your year to thrive.
Come on.
Success you will find.
Yes.
Today is your day,
Somebody say,
and now is your time.
it's your time.
It's your year to thrive.
Come on.
Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time.
It's your time. We all have a wish and we all want to win, but we cannot begin without self-discipline. If you fall on your face, get yourself up again. Attach yourself to goals, not fail with the friends. When the storms get rough and they're scattered in the yourself in what you believe. We believe in you, but not as much as God does. If you're going through hell, he's got nothing but love. Apply what you learn, increase what you earn, and in due time you have money to burn.
Apply what you learn, increase what you earn, and in due time you got money to burn.
Sing it.
Apply what you learn, increase what you earn, in due time you got money to burn.
Sing it.
Apply what you learn,
Sing it.
increase what you earn.
Yes.
In due time you got money to
With
to
this biblical
burn.
miracle,
Yeah.
I look to shout down the doubters. Kill the weeds that be killing your dream flowers. Empower you to devour all the obstacles that make your sweet dreams sour. As for me, I used to stutter, but now I'm on the microphone smooth like butter. If I can do it, I know you can too, but you must stick to it like postage do. And while Merton's on the chorus, singing what he sings, I encourage you to dream big dreams.
Today is your day.
Today's your day.
And now is your time.
It's your time.
This is your year to thrive.
Sing it, sing it.
Success you will find. Today is your day.
It's your day.
And now is your time.
It's your time.
Today is your day.
Come on.
And now is your time.
Sing it, Martin.
Today is your day. Now is your time.
I realize I can't sing like that, but I can talk and play the woodblock. Okay. If you guys need me, I'll just be over here.